explains that Narada Muni perfectly instructed King Priyavrata about the mission of human life. The mission of human life is to realize oneself and then gradually go back home, back to Godhead. Since Narada Muni instructed the king fully on this subject, why did he again enter household life, which is the main cause of material bondage? Maharaj Parikshit was greatly astonished that King Priyavrata remained in household life, especially since he was not only a self-realized soul, but also a first-class devotee of the Lord. A devotee actually has no attraction for household life, but surprisingly, King Priyavrata enjoyed household life very much. One may argue, why is it wrong to enjoy household life? The reply is that in household life one becomes bound by the results of fruitive activity. The essence of household life is sense enjoyment, and as long as one engrosses his mind in working hard for sense enjoyment, one becomes bound by the reactions of fruitive activities. This ignorance of self-realization is the greatest defeat in human life. The human form of life is especially meant for getting out of the bondage of fruitive activities. But as long as one is forgetful of his life's mission and acts like an ordinary animal, eating, sleeping, mating, and descending, he must continue his conditioned life of material existence. Such a life is called Swarupa Vismriti, forgetfulness of one's real constitutional position. Therefore, in Vedic civilization, one is trained in the very beginning of life as a brahmachari. The brahmachari must execute austerity and refrain from sex indulgence. Therefore, if one is completely trained in the principles of brahmacharya, he generally does not enter household life. He is then called a Naishika brahmachari, which indicates total celibacy. King Parikshit was thus astonished that the great King Priyavrata, although trained in the principles of Naishika brahmacharya, entered household life. The words Bhagavata Atmarama are very significant in this verse. If one is self-satisfied, as is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is called Bhagavata Atmarama. There are different types of satisfaction. Karmis are satisfied in their fruitive activities. Jnanis are satisfied to merge into the effulgence of Brahman. And devotees are satisfied to engage in the Lord's service. The Lord is self-satisfied because he is fully opulent. And one who is satisfied by serving him is called Bhagavata Atmarama. Manushanam Sahasreshu. Out of many thousands of persons, one may endeavor for liberation. And of many thousands of persons attempting to become liberated, one may achieve liberation from the anxieties of material existence and become self-satisfied. Even that satisfaction, however, is not the ultimate satisfaction. The Jnanis and the Karmis have desires, as do the yogis, but devotees have no desires. Satisfaction in the service of the Lord is called akama, freedom from desire, and this is the ultimate satisfaction. Therefore, Maharaj Parikshit inquired, how could one who is fully satisfied on the highest platform be satisfied with family life? The word parabhava in this verse is also significant. When one is satisfied in family life, he is doomed because he must already have forgotten his relationship with the Lord. Prahlad Maharaj describes how the activities of family life implicate one more and more. Atmapatam viham andakrupa. Household life is like a dark well. If one falls into this well, his spiritual death is assured. How Priyavrata Maharaj remained a liberated Paramahamsa, even within family life, is described in the next verse. Rajavacha Priyavato Bhagavata Atmarama Katamune Ihe Ramata Yamula Kama Banda Parabhava. King Parikshit inquired from Shukadeva Goswami, O great sage, why did King Priyavrata, who was a great self-realized devotee of the Lord, remain in household life, which is the root cause of the bondage of karma, fruitive activities, and which defeats the mission of human life? So this is the first verse of the 5th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam. And here we find that it begins on a very important note. It begins with a discussion of the problems associated with household life. Now often, devotees ask, what is the point of household life? The point is that it is part of the varnashram system. Ashramas, which we have been following in our Krishna consciousness movement for some time, mean the progressive detachment from this material world, beginning with brahmacharya. From the beginning of life, brahmachari gurukule vasandanto guroritam. The beginning is brahmacharya. From the earliest age of life, if one is even 5 years old, it is stated, Homacharet pragyadharman bhagavatani ha. Even from that early age, one should immediately take up this Bhagavat Dharma. Prabhupada also says, from the point at which one awakens to his spiritual understanding, for instance, none of us began at the age of 5 years in brahmachari existence, although some of the Gurukul children are more lucky. So, we realized at one point, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, who brought this Krishna consciousness movement to us, and at that point, Dharman Bhagavatani Ha, immediately take up the devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But in the Varnashram system, nothing is left to chance. Maybe you will meet a pure devotee someday and then take up some spiritual life. But from the beginning, 5 years of age, Kumara age, begins at 5, and immediately off to the Gurukul. Vasandanto Guroritam, work for the benefit of the Guru, from the beginning of life. The brahmachari is trained to work simply for the benefit of the spiritual master. Samit Pani, go collect some firewood. Just like here at our yajna, every morning, wonderful Vedic yajna going on. This is one of only 2 that go on in the whole of India every day. The other one is at the Madhvacharya Math, New Delhi. It's the only other one in the whole of India. And here, brahmacharis, from the beginning of life, are trained to chop wood. You'll see them in the back in the morning, chopping wood. And the others are chanting the mantras, pouring the ghee. So this is the beginning, training stage, when one understands how to serve the spiritual master. Bring wood. Bring some water. Render service from the beginning. Learn to develop the attitude of rendering service to the spiritual master. It's the whole Vedic culture. Then, at the time at which one is sufficiently mature in bodily development, one will take up the Grihastha ashram under the permission of the spiritual master only, and then one may progress further in trying to detach himself. And one may say, well, that doesn't make sense. To engage oneself directly in attachment, how will that bring me to detachment? Well, no, it is very intelligent system. For those who are capable, maybe from previous lifetimes, we don't find, normally speaking, people are inclined to renunciation. This is not their inclination. Their inclination is to bhoga, enjoyment. Tyaga only comes because too much enjoyment has taken place. Like, for instance, when one is eating too many sweets. In India also this is very possible. One should never take outside the temple. But even in the temple sometimes there is supply at a certain stall over in this corner. And then one may take too many. So while he's taking, he's enjoying very much. temporarily as the tongue is agitated slightly by the chemicals of the rasgula. And he feels great pleasure because his tongue is feeling that its chemical is being properly stimulated with a very sweet thing. And he's feeling very happy. The mind, because he's very much attached to that tongue, especially the tongue. And then he eats too many. And the stomach, many problems, pains, other unmentionable things start happening. So then he develops tyaga. I shall eat no more sweets. This is not renunciation in the same sense. Forced renunciation. It's like if you are very old, you have to renounce. You have to renounce. Once I initiated one lady. She was over 80 years old. So I said, so you will follow these 4 regular principles? There's no question of breaking the 4 regular principles. I'm so old I cannot eat. There's no question of illicit sex. I don't even know what gambling is. So, in old age, like that, so forced renunciation is taking place. But that is not generally considered the same. When we speak of renunciation, actual renunciation, we speak in terms of giving up something which ordinarily one would not give up for the sake of spiritual advancement. Actual tyaga. It's not bhoga tyaga, where one is enjoying as much as he can, and then when he's finished with his enjoyment because he took too much, then he takes up some renunciation. Just like with food. You eat too much of a certain food, even if it is the nicest food, then you give it up again because you've eaten too much. Prabhupada spoke about one famous Swami, local product. We don't want to mention his name for fear of avoiding for creating a scene. But Prabhupada said that this person was in his village a great debauchee. He used to have sex with all the girls in the village. Finally, he became useless. Too much sex life, he became useless. So then, they were looking for somebody to counteract Christianity. So they wanted to create some new dharma. So they took him, because he was already useless, and made him into a sadhu because they knew he couldn't have sex life anymore. So he called his wife mother, and he became very famous. That is not renunciation in the same sense as we are speaking here. That is, in the mind, the renunciation has not taken place. The body was forced to renounce, but the mind was not renounced. Still, the desire for some sense gratification is there, it just manifested in a different way. But the Vedic system is very nice. It does not allow you to just unlimitedly enjoy whatever you like, whenever you like. But in a regulated fashion, there was allowance. And when the Guru understood the mind and mentality of the disciple, he saw this disciple is not able to take up complete renunciation immediately. Therefore, let him enter the household ashram. And the disciple would ask, my dear Guru Maharaj, may I please take up this? Or the spiritual master would recommend. And then gradually, by interacting in that atmosphere, first there is the pleasure of sex life. Nobody will deny, as far as one is materially attached, this is the supreme material pleasure. Spiritual, when you have some spiritual taste, then one's lips curl in distaste at such pleasure. Yaravadi Mamachatta Krishna Padaravinde, Amunacharya says, Navanavarasa, Yamani Dansa Mansa Mansit. When I think of former sex pleasures, because I am tasting again and again the rasa or relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, my lips curl in distaste and I spit on the thought. This means actually renunciation has taken place. And this also gives an indication of how renunciation is to take place in our Krishna consciousness movement. Not that we artificially renounce. So many artificially have renounced in the past. I asked one of our leaders, please take sannyas. He is very mature. So he said, why do you want me to take sannyas? So many have taken sannyas and fallen away. Why? I do not know if I am ready. I said, all right, I respect that completely. So, real renunciation comes when one actually has taste for Krishna. When the higher taste is there, the lower taste is immediately given up. When you have something better, you give up the lower taste. Prabhupada once gave the example. If your hand is full of rocks, how you'll take the diamonds? Hand is already full. You must first throw away the rock. Take the diamond or the halava. You cannot have both like that. Sometimes they try to maintain both attachments. Dance on two tables simultaneously. German saying. Two tables simultaneously dancing. On the table of sense gratification, on the table of renunciation. Sometimes jumping between tables. Sometimes one foot on both. But that actually will not get one very far. One must be situated safely in one table and do his dance. And gradually, by actual realization, develop Krishna conscious taste. Without real taste for Krishna, nobody can engage in devotional service for long. Because the taste for material existence will come and dominate. But when the actual taste comes for serving Krishna, then despite all kinds of material inconveniences, despite all kinds of agitations from this material world, he's fixed in his devotional service. So this kind of real renunciation is actually what the varnashram system is meant to do. To actually situate oneself completely in a safe platform. Therefore, in the beginning, there is the brahmachari stage training. Learn what is right. Then grihastha stage, all right. Some facility is there. Now you take up that facility. But you know for sure where you've got to end up. At the age of 50, get out of the house, go to the forest. The age of 50, cut off point, no more. So you know that I have my cut-off points, and I better be ready for that. Therefore, one gradually develops less enthusiasm to develop his situation in household affairs. At the same time, during the stage of renunciation, spiritual impetus is given. Come to a holy place. Prabhupada once mentioned to me, and I'm sure he's mentioned to many others, he said, I have built this Vrindavan project, specifically, he said, for old people to come and retire at the end of life. Because Prabhupada recommended Kshetra Sannyas. Because this is Bhaktivinoda Thakur recommended. In this age, Kshetra Sannyas is more important. Where at the age of 50, husband and wife leave home, go to a holy place and live there. Like Bhaktivinoda Thakur himself did. And take up devotional service fully in the Dham and never leave it. That was recommended by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So Prabhupada said, I have built this project for those people to retire. Now if you think about it, those people are also us people. We also get old, by the way. Don't forget, age is also a factor in everybody's life, even if you're young. And it's not that it only counts for old people, for young people too. So you will also get old, all of you. At that time, what will you do? Oh, hadn't even thought of it, huh? So you will also have to come live somewhere. So let us build Mayapur project very nicely. You can come live here too. When you are 50 years old. So now we work hard. So we have 30 years of hard work. We do so many nice things around the world. So then, you can also come and stay when you are 50, retiring, and engage in active service. Vedic culture is actually the purpose. So, our renunciation also works through the varnashram system. But for Maharaj Priyavrata, that was not required. It was not at all required that he take up household life. And Maharaj Parikshit knew that. Priyavrata, Maharaj doesn't require take up household life. but as we will see, for the higher purpose of managing the affairs of the universe. He took up, under request of superior authority, household life. Not because he wanted to. He was already in the renounced state, living with Narada Muni, receiving instruction, completely absorbed in Krishna consciousness. Every day, hearing spiritual instructions. Every day, engaging in Krishna conscious philosophy. There's no need for him to take up household life. And he didn't want to at first. But because he was requested, he did, as we will see as the pages go on of Srimad Bhagavatam every day. So we will see how he did it because of love for the higher authority. He took up the role. So King Parikshit was amazed. It's amazing why such a person would take up a role like that. And even though, later on we will see, he had many problems in the sense that he was acting as if he was completely absorbed in household affairs. When it was time to give up the management of the universe, immediately renunciation took place. That is the symptom of a great personality. He may switch. As he is requested, he does whatever he is ordered. Similarly, we have surrendered our lives to our spiritual master. Whatever he requests, we mold our whole life around that order and mission. When you make the mission of your spiritual master your mission, in whatever ashram it may be, then your whole life will become very, very safe and secure. Then, even if one seemingly is in a position where he seemingly is entangled, he is not entangled. Therefore, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada recommended that the sannyasi's business is in the cities preaching. Although generally, one would think the business is in the countryside, walking by foot, here and there. That is also some business for some preachers. But the real business is where the population is. Wherever the people are, we go and preach. That is renunciation. Actually, renunciation is described by Srila Rupa Goswami. And Prabhupada considered these points so important, he had these verses inscribed on the front gate. And the ultimate conclusion is, this is a lesson to everybody in the area. Anasaktasya vishayanita upayunjitaha nirbandha Krishna sambandhe yuktam maragi. Real renunciation means that you use everything that can be used in Krishna's service, you use it in Krishna's service. Whatever can be used in Krishna's service, you don't renounce it thinking it material. It's like sometimes they will see, here is some material opulent condition. We were criticized for using computer. Somebody thought this was not very renounced. But if you use it to build Krishna's temple, or organize Krishna's festival, or to write Krishna conscious literatures, or whatever, then it is a servant of the service of Krishna. No different than an automobile. No different than a pair of shoes. It simply depends on the mentality of renunciation. If you use things for yourself, then that is attachment. If you use things in the service of Krishna, that is actually renunciation. Therefore, things should only be used in Krishna's service, not otherwise. That is spiritual life. To use whatever Krishna gives in Krishna's service. It's like, here, we are spending so much money. But what are we using it for? To expand Krishna's project. In the West, you may get so much money. They think somebody's enjoying it. Their image is the guru, big fat fellow, wearing all kinds of jewelry draped all over him, with girls peeling grapes, dropping them in his mouth, on his golden bed. They think like this. This is their image. So, actually, they can't imagine that somebody would get some money and then spend it on Krishna. They can't imagine this. That so many they consider beautiful young women you may consider as you like, are surrounding, and they think, oh, he must be enjoying all of this. They can't imagine simply engaging everything in Krishna's service. They think there must be something wrong here. Then they think, well, they must be zombies then. If they're not enjoying all the money and women, then they must be crazy. So they must be zombies walking. But actually our business is simply to engage in Krishna's service. Therefore, Prabhupada very nicely gave us the most wonderful mission. He said simply, you print all of my books all over the world, in all of the languages of the world. Then you take those books and you fill up the temples. He said this in Vrindavan. He told me, he said, I have many bank accounts. You empty them out completely. You print books completely. Then you fill all the temples with books, so the devotees have no place to live. Then you tell them, if you want to sleep, you have to distribute so many books as in the pile to make a place to sleep. Then, when they go out to distribute books, then they will give you money. And you print more books and fill the place again. Then, you take in so many funds from book distribution. We spend 50% to print new books. Then, we spend 50% to build this project. Right now. First Vrindavan was finished. Bombay finished. Mayapur. We have to finish. That we hope to do in our lifetime. Big project. So, this is our mission. Spiritual Master has given us the mission. So you follow that mission, that's renunciation. Do something else, that is mental speculation. Mental speculation will get us nowhere. That's why King Priyavrata, when he was requested, you please take up household ashram, and you please manage the universal affairs, because somebody has to do it. It's always like that. If everybody wants to be sadhu, then nobody manages, everything goes to hell, no preaching goes on. So sometimes we have to take up roles so that things can go on. King Priyavrata also, he didn't want to do it. But, all right, because there is duty, higher principle, duty to spiritual master, duty to Krishna, comes from spiritual master. The higher duty must be accepted over my personal desire. Personal desire may be whatever it may be. But it is based on, ultimately, one's own perception, his own speculation or concoction. But when the order is given by spiritual master, then you're secure. When the order is based on one's own personal desire, then one's in trouble. No matter how elevated one may be, so long as he acts on the basis of mental concoction, that's very bad. Manoratenasato bhavi. Because the mental chariot, Manorata, the mind, can be the best friend, the mind can be the worst enemy. If the mind is trained to accept the order of the spiritual master, that is austerity of the mind. That is actual, proper following. That is actually freedom from mental speculation. When the mind allows itself to, or when you allow, the mind to have free reign, to think whatever you feel like, whatever the senses feel like. When we think like this, that means senses think. Senses are thinking for the mind. Now, tongue says, I want to eat. Mind echoes, yes. Eating should go on. Please feed. Eye says, I want to see. That's the nature of the eye, to see. Chemical reaction, physical reaction. Mind echoes, yes, please see this nice form. The sense object of the eye is form. If a nice form is there, the eye wants to see. The mind echoes that. Please see this. Your eye wants to see it. And so the mind becomes filled with mental speculation. That is a product of the senses only. So therefore, how will one know what is his mental concoction and what is fact? One will only know by the order of the spiritual master. Beyond that, one knows nothing. Therefore, we are very lucky because Prabhupada gave us many orders. And similarly, we are filtering those orders in the present circumstance without change. That is the point. The order has already been given. We don't have to speculate. It's not that Prabhupada forgot something. He gave it all. And in a nutshell, we personally have taken the role to follow those orders which he gave us personally, which is to use everybody in his book production, book distribution, temple construction mission. And we feel very safe. Isn't it a fact? Can you imagine if I told you something Prabhupada didn't say? How much trouble you have? This is parampara. The order is descending. Descend. Things must descend. The order of the spiritual master is a descending thing. One spiritual master gives his disciple the order, who gives his disciple the order, who gives his disciple the... But it's the same mission. When proper following of the spiritual master's order is there, everybody works together very nicely. When speculation enters, friction starts. Therefore, our whole business is to follow. We are service, followers. Followers. And that is what King Priyavrata is teaching us, to follow. There may be so many reasons why not to follow. But one with higher intelligence has to conquer the lower with determination. Higher intelligence conquers the lower sensual desire with determination. That is the whole point of Krishna conscious philosophy. Learn the philosophy. Study it. Understand it. From Prabhupada's book. Then use that knowledge to actually control the mind, control the senses, and direct one's life, direct one's mission to be exactly in line with that which is given by this parampara, spiritual succession. That is perfection. To use the intelligence to surrender, that is perfection. If the intelligence is used in any other way, then the risk is there. Very risky. So many pitfalls are there. When they fall, this side, that side. So many have fallen because of not staying strictly on the path of Krishna consciousness. Even if, let us say, one may have some troubles, that's all right. But one must stay still totally dependent on the order of the spiritual master. That we can tolerate. But if one has trouble and then deviates also, now who can save us? It is the strict following that will save all of us from the clutches of Maya. Maya is very strong. Maya wants to take us. There's no doubt. How powerful is Maya, we cannot understand. And even if one thinks he's very safe from Maya, Maya comes in sneaking around the corner when you least expect it. Maya is very expert, no matter how intelligent one is. As soon as one leaves the shelter of the instruction of the spiritual master, Maya comes in and grabs him by the neck. And then Maya explains how this is actually the perfection of life. To be grabbed at the neck. And that you fool, why have you ever done anything else? And then one gradually starts to believe that. So, propaganda of Maya aside, we know what is the truth we should follow, strictly. And then all success will be there in devotional service. So, we're having a festival. This is a very good time to hear, chant, remember Krishna, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is the 500th anniversary. But as far as we are concerned, 499, 501, 500, 550, 600, these are just numbers. There's no Vedic significance to 500. However, for the people, they have some significance. They don't worship Lord Chaitanya all the time. So they make this is a good excuse for them to come and worship Lord Chaitanya. For us, we worship Lord Chaitanya 500 days a year. We're always worshiping Lord Chaitanya. We're always rendering service to Him. Anyway, we're trying to do something with whatever we had. Best attempt is there. So, for us, our festival is hearing, chanting, remembering Krishna. We're going to go on parakrams. It'll be a little work. Oh, I guarantee you, it's going to be a little tough. Hot. It'll be hot. So come prepared. But come prepared to chant, too. That's very nice. Nice festival of chanting, hearing. That's a festival. Therefore, you can become very Krishna conscious, taking advantage like this. Talk about Krishna, think about Krishna, avoid anything else. We're going to also have a very nice time cleaning Krishna's temple before we move in on the 14th. So, at that time, we're going to have a Gundicha Marjana, where we'll all come together and throw piles of water everywhere, buckets everywhere. Srila Vishnupad will lead. I will be there also. Acharya Pad will also be there. And no talking, just Krishna. If you want somebody to throw more water, you have to say, Krishna, Krishna. It's like in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And then we will clean Krishna's temple so nicely. Then we'll move the deities the next day in a nice festival, on the 15th. It's also day off. Did he explain about our rest of the days this morning? So many things. 16, 17, 18, 19. We have motorboats this year. You told? Yes. So I hate buses. We have made arrangements for motorboats. We take big launches, very nice launches. We go on parakram on launch. Very nice. We go pick up the boats. Government tried to steal our boats. They got envious. So why these Hare Krishna people, they have to take the boats? We will take the boats. So Krishna said, no, they will take the boats. So we have the boats. Actually, it is all due to the mercy of Nitai Chand Maharaj. Please give a big round of applause for Nitai Chand Maharaj. Please bless everybody here. So I don't want to keep you sitting in the sun any longer. Hare Krishna.